Kyrie Irving said COVID vaccine mandates were, quote, one of the biggest violations of human rights in history. That was a part of his tweet, and I want to make sure that I read it for you completely because I sent this out as well. And I believe Kyrie Irving has actually been courageous in being willing to speak out against all of these COVID shot monstrosities, and the fact that they've actually been able to exist in general. Here is what Kyrie Irving said, and I give a great deal of credit to him. If I can work and be unvaccinated, then all my brothers and sisters who are also unvaccinated should be able to do the same without being discriminated against, vilified, or fired. This enforced vaccine pandemic is one of the biggest violations of human rights in history. And I give credit to Kyrie Irving for sticking to his guns here, to Novak Djokovic and also Aaron Rodgers, among many other athletes who also publicly came out against the COVID shot. And I got to tell you, New York City has now done away with a private business COVID vaccine mandate. So you can go into any job as long as you are not a city or federal employee and walk right in. There was no point in this from the get-go. I had to get a waiver to be able to go into the Fox News building up in New York City because I never got the COVID shot. They are now doing away with it starting November 1st. Anybody can go in. We'll be back to relative normalcy. But Kyrie Irving pointed out the hypocrisy of this on so many different levels. He was allowed to sit courtside and watch basketball games, but he wasn't allowed to play in them. And it was so many people out there. There were so many people out there who were just sheep, and they weren't willing to speak out. They weren't willing to use their voice to speak out powerfully for many people who didn't have that option. And I give credit to Kyrie Irving for speaking out on this issue. It's also still ridiculous that the United States requires you to have a COVID shot in order to enter the country, unless, of course, you're entering illegally from the southern border. Almost every country in the world has ended their COVID shot requirements because the COVID shot is worthless, and there isn't really any basis upon which to continue this.